Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Shaz and I love all kinds of colorful makeup. Today we're going to do the second part of the two videos where I'm going to be talking about the various palettes that have come out recently, and I'm going to try to see if I can talk myself out of buying some of them, or maybe you all can give me your opinion in the comments whether I should buy them or I shouldn't buy them, or whether you have picked them up and what your thoughts are on them. I videoed these two parts together and I'm gonna tag the first part somewhere in the screen and also at the end of this video. If you're interested in that, maybe you can start with that and we can continue. Otherwise, please grab whatever you're into, coffee, tea, wine, anything else, and let's get started. Okay, folks, let's continue. Okay, the next brand is Luxy Beauty. One problem that I've had with Luxy Beauty, that I've also heard in the beauty space generally about Luxy Beauty, is that the swatches on their website might just look much more vibrant than the products that people swatch at home. So this has disappointed some people, but I still do a lot of shopping on their website just because I think the prices are steal. And I think their products have not been so bad. I particularly really enjoyed using their mattes so far. I think they have pretty good quality mattes. They're having two releases. I think one of them is the Happy Hour collection that came out within the past month. This collection has 9 duochrome, multichrome type of shadows. I'm looking at them. They're all pretty. I'm not sure if they're 100% unique. I feel like some of them you can even find a dupe for in Luxy Beauty inventory itself. The second one is called, the second release, I think was a recent release. I think it came out yesterday or 2 days ago from the day I'm filming. And this one is called Wanderlust. These are $12 shadows and they look like they are multichrome. So I think that price is pretty fair as far as multichromes are concerned. I'm sure you all know that a lot of multichromes on the market are way more expensive than this. But the only thing, considering the concern that I just mentioned, is that if I'm paying $12 for a shade, I want it to be pretty honest and close to the swatch that I see on the website. So the question would just be, how much can I trust that what I get is exactly like what I'm seeing in the swatches? So am I going to buy this? I do not know. I don't think I'm in the market for multichromes right now, beyond Cleona releases, Terra Moon's releases. I also just put an order with Divina when their Moon Kissed, is that the Moon Kissed collection or something like that, when the pre-order opened. So I need to receive a lot of the stuff that I've ordered before I consider buying more. But this is available already. You can go on the Luxy website and look at them. The other thing I was going to talk about is something that I figured I can't not talk about. This is about Fenty Hair. So Fenty is apparently now coming out with hair products. The minute I heard the term Fenty Hair, the first thing that I thought about was extensions. I would love it. If anybody from Fenty is watching this, I would love it if Fenty comes out with extensions. That's all I have to say about that. Let's move on. The next one is Chantecaille's Black Jaguar and Cougar collection. Honestly, the only thing I want from these palettes is the photo of the cat on them. They are so cute. They're so cute. Chantecaille is just an expensive brand. I spend a lot of money on makeup, but on shiny, colorful, sparkly eyeshadows, not neutral colors, obviously. So I think the only thing that jives with me in the image on the screen is the two cats. I think someone mentioned that a portion of the proceeds for this collection goes to protecting animals or something like that. Friends, if you want to spend money on protecting animals, just spend money on protecting animals. Donate to, the different nonprofit organizations that do just that. You don't need to buy an eyeshadow palette that's extremely expensive to do that. Anyway, That's my 2 cents. You do you. Let's move on. We have another influencer collab, and that is with Kathleen Lights and Il Maquillage. Yeah, so as you can see on the screen, that color story doesn't speak to me. This palette's definitely not for me unless, I don't know, the last 2 columns are all shimmery, shifty multichromes, right? Then I could take a palette that has like 9 neutrals. Otherwise, it's a pass for me, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who like this. Totally like Kathleen. She's super awesome. I own 2 of her collabs with ColourPop. I still own them. I sold a lot of my makeup, but I still own them. But I don't think this one is for me. Okay, so for the next one, I want to talk about 2 launches by Klarity Cosmetics. The Lily palette, which is the newer one. And honestly, the color story here is beautiful. I absolutely love the color story. And the other one, which is the Evil Mermaid. I also love the color story for the Evil Mermaid. I've tried buying the Evil Mermaid at least twice, but it was sold out. But I think it might be available right now. Yes, it is available. I also think at that point in time, I didn't want to just buy one thing. I thought if I'm buying something, let me pick a couple of things. But now that they've come out with the Lily palette, if I see a couple of good reviews on the Lily palette, I might consider buying it. Let me know your thoughts. Ooh, okay, let's talk about the next one. So we already talked about ColourPop coming out with an all matte rainbow palette in the first one, the 30 pan. And now Blend Bunny Cosmetics has come out with the Primal palette, which is a, okay, this isn't 30 pans, it's a 26 pan rainbow palette, and it also has, it's not all matte, it has, I think, a shimmer row. You know what, I saw swatches of this on Instagram, and I think it's divine. The 2 colors that I just can't wrap my head around, like they're so beautiful. One is, I don't know the names, but one is that shimmery pink, and the other one is the shimmery orange. Let me see if I can find the names. Feral and Potent. Y'all, unfortunately, I just put an order with Blend Bunny Cosmetics 2 weeks ago, I want to say, and that was before this palette launched. So I'm probably not going to put in another order immediately, but in the future, if I'm putting an order, I will definitely consider buying this palette. It's very pretty. Okay, so the next one is Palettopoly by Ace Beauté. There is something about this color story that doesn't speak to me. I feel like you're gonna make too much use of the all matte brown column and the 2 sort of burgundy purple colors. There could have been more darker versions of the other colors, meaning like a dark pink, right? A dark pink, maybe a dark blue green, maybe something that would be sort of like a dark military green or something like that. I do feel maybe they wanted this to complement the other Ace Beauté palette, because Ace Beauté's, I think, last palette was, gosh, I don't remember the name of the palette, but it had like all kinds of greens, right? So this could possibly complement, these colors could complement that that palette, but there is just something aesthetically about the color story that's not jiving with me. Another thing I was going to mention is that I had an issue with one of my orders from Ace Beauté. There were small little particles in one of the shades in one of the palettes that they sent me, and I sent them an email and I never heard back from their customer service. Granted, I also didn't follow up. I literally just scraped them off the color and continued using it, but that also didn't sit fully well with me. Anyway, probably not the palette for me. If it's a palette for you, I would love to know. If you've used it and you want to change my mind, I'm open to it, and let's move on. Okay, let's talk about this one. Simply Posh Fairy Tale Fairies eyeshadow palette. Compared to the previous palette, this palette, the stories and the colors and like how they go together, I understand. Like the logic of how these would go together, I understand. And I think the swatches are just divine. Honestly, I feel like $45 for this many shades um, what is that? 18 shades. That is pretty good. I love the dark row at the bottom. It looks just, you know, dark matte jewel tones. Beautiful. As I already talked about the shimmers, beautiful. Yeah, I'm very open to buying this palette. Let me know your thoughts on the brand and, you know, if you've used it, what do you think of the quality and so on. Haven't bought it yet though. Haven't bought it. The next one is not a brand new release, but you know, it keeps coming back on my feed in Instagram and things like that, is the collection by Juvias Place. What's the name of this collection? Garden of Juvia, I think that's the name. Anyway, the palette, it's a little bit muted down for me. I'm not a huge pastel user. I have a couple of pastel palettes. Maybe I'll do a video and talk about the different pastel palettes and, you know, singles and things like that that I have, but I don't make too much use of them. And this palette is missing some darker shades that I obviously love for my outer V and things like that, for darkening the eye look. Colors are absolutely pretty. I think it's a cohesive color story. I actually bought the ice cream palette by GlamLite a year and a half ago, and I think I've used it twice. So yeah, this just makes me, looking at this palette just makes me think I should go back to that palette and use it a little more. Should probably take it out and put it on my desk so that I remember to use it. So this is a pass. However, to my understanding, this is launching with some other items, namely some liners, colorful liners, and I was pretty excited about those. I like the one that is kind of green color. Let me know what you all think on these products, and let's move on. Okay, so this one is the collab between Mikayla and GlamLite. So I did my undergrad in the Boston area, Paht. I'm probably not going to do it justice, but the Paht too of the palette, I'm probably butchering that. Apologies to the Bostonians out there. So I bought the first palette last year. It was my second palette purchase from GlamLite, and I kind of wanted to test their products and see how they're doing. And I literally bought it for the bottom 3 rows. And I wish they had released this palette. This is a lot more up my alley than that first palette. The first palette had too many neutral colors. I very much considered buying the second part. I feel like the second part is an extension of the first part, right? There's more darker, colorful shades and shades that were already in the original first palette, but there's more versions of them, right? Like you have more blues of various tones and shades. You have more purples of various tones and shades, greens of various tones and shades, and so on, and much less of the neutral colors. In fact, you know what? It's already added to my cart on the GlamLite website. So I considered buying the palette. I also considered buying the smaller palette. In my mind, this is a cooler, more up my alley version of the Nouveau palette by Anastasia of Beverly Hills, the palette that recently launched. You know, I think it's a lot more vibrant colors, not as much muted and, you know, muted down. But by the time I got to the website, the palette was, the small palette is also, I think it's still sold out. Yep, still sold out. So I added the brush set and the palette to my cart, but I still haven't checked them out. I'm still hoping that the small palette will become available and I can buy all of them. But yeah, so that's that. Another thing I considered buying was the lipstick, the darker shade. I think the lighter shade is too light for me. I have way too many highlighters, so I don't think I'm going to really use these highlighters for 20 bucks. The other thing is that on their website it says it's going to take a while to get to me, and honestly I wasn't sure if I wanted to order something that might not get to me in like 8 weeks. Okay friends, let's move on. I have a few things to talk about and then we can wrap up the video. First thing is what I just mentioned, Anastasia of Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. I think I already said it. This is not for me. Too muted down, not my vibe. Let's move on. I have heard fantastic reviews online, so if this is your type of thing, consider it. The only thing is that I look at Anastasia of Beverly Hills and the, Modern Renaissance palette, Subculture palette. Subculture was one of my favorites. And all the other palettes they came up with, and they're so vibrant and colorful. And so this to me just doesn't even, I can't understand. I can't understand. I just feel like this just doesn't go with the rest of their sort of branding. But anyway, not for me. Moving on. Let me know if you're buying it. So the next one I want to talk about is a new palette and collection by Nomad Cosmetics called Fête de Provence. This is a beautiful palette. I also like the lip gloss colors. However, I'm not a lip gloss user. I own a lot of lip glosses, and honestly, I use some of them I don't think I've ever used. Yeah, so lip glosses look beautiful from afar. I'm going to appreciate them from afar. And the palette, yeah, I feel like I have it. I'm waiting for Nomad to release something that I do not have in my collection and I absolutely want. So I feel like I have these colors. I'm not too excited about these colors, although I'm all about, French Provence and lavenders in the air and, all that jazz. But I don't know. Yellow and purple would go fantastic together though. So does the pinks. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Undeniably pretty. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not right now. But these are probably going to be available for a while. So maybe I'll change my mind later. I have kind of the same feeling for the Paradise Island palette. The only issue I had with that palette, and the reason why I didn't buy it, is because it just didn't have any dark colors. I was thinking to myself, how can I deepen the look? Otherwise, I just love the colorfulness, and it reminds me of the ocean, and I love that. It's actually, the two palettes also kind of complement each other. There's not a lot of overlapping shades. Let's move on. Let's talk about e.l.f. and the Game Up collection. So I used to be a huge gamer as a kid and just love the gaming concept. And e.l.f. has good quality. I've used some of their palettes and they've had good quality, although I've heard they can be hit or miss. I went to e.l.f.'s page multiple times and added a bunch of things from this collection to my cart, but just never went through with the checkout. And the things that I looked at were the eyeliner. The only thing that I'm concerned about is the quality. Eyeliner, some brands dry up too fast and you never get to even use it 3 times. I added the eyeshadow palette, obviously. That's the type of thing I'm into, and it's all colors, although it's difficult to deepen the shades because there are no dark colors. The brush set, I have used e.l.f. brush sets. I actually own a lot of e.l.f. brush sets, and they're fantastic quality. In fact, I wouldn't mind buying 2 brush sets from e.l.f. Particularly that it seems like they have a smudger brush, which is fantastic. And their nail collection. I just love the colorful nail collection. Those are totally the colors I would wear. I've never used anything from e.l.f. on my face. Let me know if you've used them. Are they good quality? Would you recommend? Otherwise, I might consider picking other things up too. They have face mask and a mist and some lip stuff and some eye creams and things like that. I just wasn't sure if they would be the type of things I would use. I also feel like I have a lot of them. I have a lot of stuff that I need to go through just in terms of face creams and so on. Okay, let's do the last one and close this out. Oh no, wait, this isn't the last one. There's 2 more. I'm sorry. There's 2 more. Okay, I'm gonna do this quick. I don't know if this is already available. It's a collaboration between Wicked Widow and Cherry Antacid. The name of the palette is Twisted Cherry. And you know what? This reminds me of ColourPop's collab with Nightmare Before Christmas that came out last year. Sometimes ColourPop brings it back, the next Halloween. That's what they did with the other one. What was the name of the other one? Hocus Pocus. So I don't know, maybe they're going to bring it back this Halloween, but the color story really reminds me of that. I actually have that palette, but I'll put a photo on the screen. I don't know much about this brand. I think it's a beautiful palette. Obviously, as I said, I bought the ColourPop one, but of course I'm also a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. If you have any opinions in terms of quality of this brand, please let me know. Okay, everybody, I talked so much because I videoed the two parts together that I had to go get some sugary snack. I got these snacks when I was in Warsaw, Poland earlier this month. Anyway, it's so good. But let's continue. So finally, we're towards the end. This is going to be the last one, and this product is not new. This is the complete rainbow bundle from Ruby May. I think it came out around Pride month, maybe June or before Pride month in May. I love the colorful nature of it. Everything is on sale right now. Just letting you all know if you're interested in picking something up. Really like the eyeliners. Although I have probably all these shades already from different brands. I really like the small 6-pan palettes at the bottom. Yeah, probably don't need the larger rainbow palette. And they're super pretty, and I love the artwork on the palette cover. I just don't think I need these colors, and I feel like I probably have a lot of them already in my collection multiple times. If I consider picking anything up, I have to look at the sales prices. It would probably be the 4 6-pan palettes at the bottom. From what I can see in the photo, and maybe I'm not seeing it right, it seems like they can be attached together. Maybe they're magnetic, similar to the Fenty 6-pans. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But I love the color stories. Okay, and this brings us to the end. Thank you so much for sticking around with me for this long. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me know if you all are liking these kinds of videos and if I should make more videos like this. Also consider subscribing to this channel if you like this type of content. There's going to be a lot more colorful looks and just makeup assessment and reviews on this channel. Thanks so much for being with me. Until next time, bye.